It's your favorite YouTube dealer. I appreciate you guys for stopping in. We got something new for the channel that I have not dove into before. Her name is Dasha. I think that's how you say it. If I'm saying it wrong, correct me in the comments. I apologize. But this video popped up on my feed. And while they only have 55,000 subscribers, I'm assuming they deserve much more because this video has 4.7 million views. So I don't know how long they've been an artist. Maybe their YouTube channel doesn't have a crazy amount of subs because they're going crazy on streaming platforms and they just kind of upload some stuff here. I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm here to learn. I just feel like with that many views, the shit gotta go crazy, right? It's called Austin. Let's dive into it. Let's see what she's up to.
We had a plan, move out of this town, baby, west to the sand. It's all we talked about lately. I packed the car, bring your guitar and Jane for smoking. First thing at dawn, you'd cue the songs and we get going. But you went home, waited on the porch for you, sat there alone all throughout the morning till I got a hunch down in my gut and snuck around the back. Empty cans and I'll be damned, your shit was never packed. Did your boots stop working? Did your truck break down?
I don't know what it is. Something about her voice like gives me like goosebumps. Like I like her. I like her.
All throughout the morning till I got a hunch down in my gut and snuck around the back. Empty cans and I'll be damned, your shit was never packed. Did your boots stop working? Did your truck break down? Did you burn through money? Did your ex find out? Where there's a will and there's a way, and I'm damn sure you lost it. Didn't even say goodbye, just wish I knew what cost it. Was the whiskey flowing? Were you in a fight? Did the nurse come get you? What's your alibi? I made my way back to LA, and that's where you'll be forgotten. In 40 years, you'll still be here, drunk, washed up in Austin.
So this is an interesting concept. It's like someone that she was with, they had these dreams and talked about moving and all this kind of stuff, but it's like he just up and disappeared and kind of, I assume, just ghosted her, which is kind of crazy. Because first of all, she bad. Let's just be, you know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest. I always wonder when I hear songs like this, if this is based on a real story. And I feel like a lot of times it is to an extent. Sometimes people do just make music based around things that people might potentially deal with, or sometimes you make music around stuff that friends, family, people that you know of have gone through. Like I've done that. I had a song called Heroin High where I went through like the story of using heroin, trying to get clean, relapsing. I personally have never done heroin, but where I live, a lot of people have, and a lot of people have passed away from it. And some people that I know of have done it. And so I kind of made the story based around them, based around what I knew of their situation without it being like, yo, I'm talking about this person and blowing their spot up or anything. But I just kind of made a song that it related, you know what I'm saying? Where at the same time, I make a lot of songs that are about my life. And, you know, so it just depends. But this is interesting. So she says she ended up moving to LA and you're going to be here 40 years later. Pretty much the same shit happening in the same spot back in Austin. I also like how she's asking, did this happen? Did that happen? Did this, like, because in your mind, when something like that happens with somebody that you care about, right? Like you try to almost build excuses for them, which sometimes is a bad thing because that's also what sometimes keeps people in relationships because they try to give an excuse to somebody instead of letting them actually give it to them. I'm not saying that's what she's doing, but right, like that's something that a lot of people do when you're in a relationship, something goes sideways, like you have all these questions in your head, like, did this happen? Did that happen? If you don't have a reason for it and no one's given you a reason and an understanding of the situation, like your brain inevitably is going to start to create scenarios and try to understand it in the only way that it can.
I made my way back to LA, and that's where you'll be forgotten. In 40 years, you'll still be here, drunk, washed up in Austin.
My man dipped.
Hella tragic? Oh, did your boots stop working? Did your truck break down?
Ooh, she breaking it down with the boots. Okay, I like this. That is a thing that happens quite a bit, right? Like when people are in relationships, there's times where one person kind of, I just say the flip switches, or the switch flips. And whether or not it's something that you guys had an argument about, or you're tired of something, whatever it is that made that switch flip, it does. And you start to consider that maybe you don't want to be in this relationship. Maybe there's somebody else that you've met that you kind of like and stuff. And it's just wild that in a lot of situations, that person won't just be immediately upfront about it. And sometimes there's reasons. And I'm not saying those reasons are valid or make it okay, but those reasons could be like, maybe this person is supporting you. Maybe you live with them and you're like, well, shoot, if I get kicked out, like, I don't know where I'm going to go. Or sometimes you just don't want to cross that. I don't want to say cross that line, because that sounds like I'm saying something else, but like you don't want to have that argument yet. You're like, I don't want to deal with it right now. And so you just let things go on. Whether this other person is thinking that you guys are growing closer, doing more and more stuff together, and you're building this certain life together, whereas you have completely checked out and you have your reasons for it, but you just haven't spoke to them about it. And it's, so it's a wild thing, but then at the same time, right? Like it is messed up, right? It's on you that you should be able to figure out your own shit, especially if it's like, yo, I'm living with her. I can't get kicked out because I have nowhere to go. But at the same time, it's like a survival aspect thing, right? Where the person's like, yo, I'm going to do what's going to be best for me. And it's very selfish and it's toxic and it's really messed up to do to somebody, and nobody should ever have that done to them. But I'm just giving the other side of it, right? Where the person is like, listen, I don't want to be out on the street. And they might think I don't want to do this to this person either and lead them on. But at the same time, I've got to figure out my shit. And then hopefully I can make a clean move and they'll get on and be okay without me. And again, I'm not saying it's okay, but this is probably what the other side is thinking a lot of the times. And it's just wild because I feel like that happens in quite a few relationships.
You go back, shit. I loved you, how tragic. Oh, did your boots stop working? Did your truck break down? Did you burn through money? Did your ex find out? Where there's a will and there's a way, and I'm damn sure you lost it. Didn't even say goodbye, just wish I knew what cost it. Was the whiskey flowing? Were you in a fight? Did the nurse come get you? It's your alibi. I'm in a way back to LA, and that's where you'll be forgotten. In 40 years, you'll still be here, drunk, washed up in a sea.
Okay. So it is Dasha, because that's what he just yelled. So I see why this is popular, because I feel like it's very relatable to a lot of people that have been through relationships that are like this. And she also said, I didn't even get a goodbye. And I've heard of that happening before. I don't think it's as common, but I've heard of people that are in relationships, even ones that have been going on for quite a while. Let's just say they don't live together, and all of a sudden they just start ghosting the other person. They literally just stop responding. It's almost like they're scared to have that conversation, and they feel like, you know what, the best way? I'm just going to pretend that they're not there anymore. I'm not going to respond to them. I'm not going to text them. Maybe I'll even like hide their messages so I don't have to see them, and I'm just going to start going about my life. And you leave this other person hanging thinking like, yo, we just shared a year together or months and months together, and we were getting closer and closer, and then all of a sudden, poof, they just disappeared. Like, that's wild when people do that. It's bad enough to be leading somebody on, but it's also crazy to just think that you can share these moments with somebody and then just poof, disappear. It's one thing if you argue and the relationship ends and then you're just like, yo, I'm moving on, I'm not going to talk to them anymore. But there's at least that argument, that closure, in the sense that you guys had a discussion, you realize that you guys are probably not going to be together, and you both went your separate ways, and then you decide, I'm not going to talk to them. But to just do it, like, say you have like a great night out, everything seems like it's amazing, and then a day later, all of a sudden they just decide, today's the day, and they stop talking to you. That shit's crazy. I don't know if that's exactly what she said, but it seems like it, right? Because she had to go to his house to find out and see like what was going on, and some madness. Hopefully ain't nobody going through no relationships like this right now, or hasn't been, messed up by it, because sometimes this will ruin your ability to dive into other relationships, your trust issues, like that wall that you start to build becomes harder to take down the more shit like this that you've been through. So let me know what you thought down below. I like this. Dasha dope. she's actually really, really dope. I get why this has a lot of views now. But take it easy, stay safe. I'll catch you in the next one, homies.